Hi, Scott Bruder here. So, since the last time we talked, I went and did a little bit of research on both of these solders. This one here, I found absolutely nothing on. Couldn't get anything. But when you buy brand name stuff from North America, uh, you do get, MSDS sheets and things like this. So, in research on this lead-free solder, the model number SRC 300 from, was it Burns-O-Matic? This lead-free solder has a melting point of 430 degrees Fahrenheit. So do the quick math on it. That's 220 degrees Celsius. Now, the fuse that I'm installing has a trip point of 120 degrees Celsius. So my thinking is I've got 100 degrees of room before this solder melts. So I am going to use this to install this 120 degree Celsius thermal fuse. So let's install it and see how it goes. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab my cheap soldering iron. I do have a nice one that I use on my bench, but this one here for just, portable stuff, I often just keep around and don't feel bad if I drop it or use it elsewhere. So what my intentions are is I'm going to take a look at what we've had here with the length. So I feel like I'm going to try and put a solder point right about here on the thermal fuse. Now I'm going to want to do it quickly because I don't want too much of that heat to transfer into the fuse itself. And then because the crimp on the other end is still feasible, I'm just going to slide the remainder of the lead in there until it fits nicely inside the body, crimp it down, nip off the rest, and everything should be straightforward and easy going. So let's just see what we've got here. Now this is a thicker solder. This is intended for electronics. It almost always takes a few seconds to get the tip to temp. What I do is I leave a little bit of fresh solder on the tip of the soldering iron every time I put it away. That way it saves the tip from oxidizing and it saves me hassle in the future. I've lost a lot of tips. This is still the original tip on here. I find that, and focus, I find that the heating element in most of these cheaper soldering irons gives out before my tips start wearing down. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so it is to temp. So now I'm going to have to heat up this copper. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. Perfect. Okay, so that's actually heating up nicely. So what I want to do, I'm just going to tin this right at the area where I want. Okay, so I'm going to get the solder nice and hot here. I'm just going to lay that in the solder. So that's in there good. I'm going to nip that when I'm done. Well, looks like I've got it put in about the same length as the other thermal fuse. Just put that off to the side. And then I'm going to take this here, slide it back into the body of that crimp. That's really long. Let's cut that down prematurely. That's still a little long. Let's keep feeding that through. See, that looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to crimp that down tight. It's not as snug as I would like. Just going to try crimping just on the one side where the well, there we go. That's not going anywhere now. Okay, so cut off the excess. And set that back in there. You know what? I'm going to tap some solder on this point here just because I don't think that's as snug as I'd like. Now, there is a lot of copper, so with any luck, it's not going to travel through the thermal fuse. No, it's definitely not going anywhere. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cotton that was wrapped around it originally. I'm going to put it back on there. I feel that the reason why it was there is it created a barrier if that thermal fuse got a little too hot. I'm just going to rotate this back into place, into the shell. Look at that, it kind of falls right back in. Actually, I should have waited with the cotton until after. I got it pushed back in there. I thought I could have waited till after to nip off this extra, but I guess I'm going to do it right now. There's that. Okay. So that's going to go right in there. Perfect. Let's see if we can get that cotton on now. I've got a little bit of high heat tape I can put on there that I can use to hold that cotton together. What's going on right there? I don't know if that's a good solder joint or not. Okay. Make sure nothing gets pinched when I put it back together. Funny thing is, it looks like when it was originally assembled, they had pinched the sheathing for the ground wire in the body. Okay. Before I put this away, I'm just going to put a little bit of fresh solder on the top. Put that off to the side to cool. Clean up some of my old scrap. So, I'm gonna make sure it's off. Turn it on. Oh, hey, I got the red light immediately. And perfect. So, I don't see any wattage on the kilowatt because there's no load on it. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to go back to my AC meter. I'm going to turn it on. I've got the indicator light. I'm going to take it to 200 because I don't know what actually happens inside this area here. I'm assuming it's just a lower temperature that hasn't been kind of tested out. So I should now be able to put a probe in each side and get 120 volts. There we go, 122.4. That's perfect. I'm going to turn it off. Just make sure that I haven't created myself a short situation. And no, look at that. And nice and low. So I'm going to take this and plug it in and let it run for a little bit and see if this has solved my problem. Hopefully it was a helpful tutorial, and if you see anything that I missed, let me know, and comment and all that other fun stuff. Thanks again. Goodbye.